Hello YouTube, and welcome to Let Me Tell You Why, where I help to give my own perspective on topics that continually pester me and my mind grapes. Today I'm going to be talking about something that has bothered me ever since I saw any movie with an alien invasion or sci-fi inclusion or a non-historical war type anything. I will never, ever live in New York City. Oh, but it's so beautiful, and it's the epicenter of art and theater and fashion. Some people might say, why wouldn't you want to live there? Well, let me tell you why. In how many forms of media have we seen New York be completely destroyed? Way too many to count. So let's forget about video games and computer games and television and focus on movies. According to the dear old interwebs, there are no less than 60 accounts of New York City being partially or completely destroyed by everything ranging from alien invasion, zombies, superhero fights and battles, and in 2009's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, New York is actually partially destroyed by a giant bagel falling in the middle of Times Square. Now, do I really honestly think that should I make my home in New York, I will meet my untimely demise by a giant pastry falling from the sky? No, that's dumb. But with some suspension of disbelief and overactive imagination and a slight obsession with all things sci-fi and supernatural, the idea of making my home in New York City is quite unnerving. Let's go to the most recent and biggest money-making account of poor New York being torn to shreds. The Avengers. The aliens coming into New York was inevitable. There was nothing that our lovable yet dysfunctional group of superheroes could have done to prevent that. Fine, I'll take it. They even worked to keep said aliens trained on them and their actions and away from civilians, and the ever-dutiful Captain America helped police and helped civilians get to safety and saved lots of lives. Good for him. Pat on the back, Cap. They even beat Loki and the aliens and saved America. Good work, team. Yay. Except for that one little part where New York got destroyed. Forgetting lives lost, the property damage alone that occurred during the many epic battle sequences and really cool pyro effects had to have been staggering. One scene had, if I had to guess, somewhere between 5 and 10 cars destroyed by either the good or the bad guys. Even with some really good insurance, would we call this an act of God? What about the buildings that our lovely swimming / flying alien armored scary things happen to swim through, beside, around? Most of those shown were businesses, but there had to have been apartments in their hotels, things like that. Think of all the people who would be out of a home or a job just because one of those things decided to boogie it up their street. Not to mention the mental care that some of them probably need after that shit. Anyway. Today for our cultural lesson, we have Sha'Dynasty. Sha'Dynasty.
Hey, what's up? By the way, that is Sha'Dynasty. Can't you see the uppercase comma? Alright, so this segment is called Ask a Black Chick. This is for you, the white viewer. This is a chance for you to ask those pressing questions to an actual black person without getting punched in the face. So my first letter that I got, it says, Dearest Sha'Dynasty. Oh, they spell my name right, girl. So I was just wondering why I always see black girls with really long fingernails. Those have to be impossible to type with. Thanks, girl, wondering. Alright, so hyper fingernails. See, bitches with nails like that obviously don't have a fucking job. It's a status thing, really. My second letter says, Hey Sha'Dynasty, why do older African American women wear those artful Large hats on Sundays, signed underdress. Girl, that's a church hat. See, the reason why people wear church hats, see, it's a status thing. It's like a gold grill for an old black woman. The better and bigger and more ridiculous the hat, the better you are, girl. You know, I've come to realize that most nigga shit, it's all just a status thing. Let's see. Our next letter. You done spell my name. It is S-H-A uppercase comma D-Y-N-A-S-T-Y. Sha'Dynasty. It ain't that hard. All right. So I have a friend who's black. Good for you. We were outside his apartment and there seemed to be a scuffle. He pulled me inside quickly and said, "We need to get you away. There's about to be a nigger moment." I was too embarrassed to ask him, so I'll ask you, what exactly is a nigger moment? Signed, Curious. A lot of people ask me about nigger moments. Webster's defines a nigger moment is when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical African American, causing them to act in an illogical and self-destructive manner, i.e., like a nigga. Anywho, that's enough for today. Mama, where my cools at?
Well, that was educational. For our history lesson today, we have Uta, Ursula, Brando. Why don't these people have real fucking names?
Hallo und willkommen to Perverse Story, the show that exposes historical perversions, stripping the garments of false modesty from our forebears and revealing the naked truth. I am your host, Uta Ursula von der Bronowitz, professional bibliophile and founder of the Global Institute of the Study of Historical Sexuality. Now, over the next few episodes, you and I will explore together the theme of sexual experience in the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages are so called because they fall between two other very important historical eras, the Roman Empire and the Renaissance. The Middle Ages are smooshed between them. Smooshed like a complementary third between the sweating, heaving, throbbing bodies of an adventurous romantic couple. Excuse me for just one moment. Where was I? Hello again. We are all better now. We were talking about the Middle Ages, yeah? Now, dominant religious attitudes towards sexuality in the Middle Ages were that it was a necessary evil. It was very naughty, very nasty, and only acceptable as a means of procreation, of populating the earth. And there were many regulations and restrictions and rules about where you could have sex, when you could have sex, and with whom you could have sex, yeah? Now, there are some taboos that we still hold to today, such as bestiality and adultery, but many other forms of sexual expression were prohibited by the Catholic Church. These include masturbation, premarital sex, oral sex, and sex between partners of the same gender. Even the positions between a husband and a wife were regulated. Now, so sadly, our time is at an end for this episode. But in episode 2, we will examine all the many ways that the medieval people rejected, responded to, and sometimes refuted the dominant religious ideology about sex. For now, I am Uta Ursula von der von Abramowitz, and this has been Perverse Story.
Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Rockin' everywhere. Rockin' everywhere. I found you, Miss New Booty. Get it together and bring it back to me. Hit the Players Club for about a month or two. Put a tan on it, then see what it do. I found you, Miss New Booty.
That's a Sha'Dynasty. Seal of approval, bitch.
Mouse made me do it.